Hi. Well, this is kind of silly. This is part two of timber cruising, and it's only a couple slides. So maybe I should have just run through, but I wanted you to stop and calculate cruise intensity, something that's, I think, pretty basic and a good thing to know. So that was plot sampling. And the fifth one is point sampling. And you don't have to measure out the size of your plot, so it's called a variable radius. So you identify a specified number of points in your tract or your piece of land. At each point, you establish a center. You don't have to make a plot. You don't have to figure out the size. You just have a plot center. You sample the largest diameter trees in your view shed, and you use a factor called a basal area factor, depending on the sighting angle, to determine the basal area of those trees, which is the tree density. So there's two tools we're going to talk about today. The first one is an angle gauge, and you first choose your basal area factor, which we choose 10, which is right in between here and here of this angle gauge. And then you keep your eye over the plot center and then extend the angle gauge from your face. You look through the selected number, again 10 in this case, and in this bottom right-hand picture, if the tree fills this space right here, it's considered in, and if the trees do not, if it's skinnier than this size right here, then the tree is out. You simply take the number of in trees times your basal area, and you get the basal area factor for your stand. If it was historical ponderosa pine, it would be about a basal area of 20. A medium stocked stand, that's hard to say, is about 60. And our overgrown dense forests that have been so prone to severe fire and insect infestations are at 120 basal area. So we thin them to get them down to 60 or to even a historical basal area of 20. The other thing we use for this is a prism, and that's what I used when I worked for the Forest Service in Minnesota. And again, you choose your basal area factor and keep your eye over the plot center, and then you extend the angle gauge from your face. When you look through the prism, the tree trunk is cut in half. If the tree is split in half and the ends don't meet, it's an out tree. If the tree is split in half and the ends do meet and touch each other, then it's in. So in and out. So easy, angle gauge and prism, learn how to use both. Calculating the basal area of stand from the point sample, multiply the in trees by your basal area factor, and multiply this by your expansion factor. We're going to practice that. This was an easy one. See you in week 10.